Hey guys, this is more a video I just want to share with my friends because I think I only shared this with one of my friends while it was happening. But essentially, just before Christmas, me and my brother got two paintball guns, and this is just gonna recap some of the things we did because I put a lot of work into my part of the battle. My brother did a minimal amount, and this is essentially just gonna explain exactly what happened. So I have paint open here and I'm just gonna draw it out. So day one there was no actual fighting, but what did happen is I built like a fort. Wait, no, that's nowhere near around the correct location. Built like a fort. We'll say it's right here. Right? Yeah, that looks about right. And it was built entirely out of compact snow. And the thing about okay, well, real quick, this was all fought in like my grandma's front, I think, yard you could call it, which essentially the elevation goes like this, right? So her house is right here. Then you get this little bit of front yard. Then there's a steep hill down. Then it sort of goes down like this, like less steep. We fought on this section of the land. We didn't fight up here, but we did not fight up there because it's obviously too close to grandma's house. We might get paint all over it, whatever. So I just wanted to make that clear. So like throughout the entirety of this, keep in mind the elevation goes like this sort of around here. So the closer you are to this side right here, the lower it is and the less of an advantage you have. But the first day, it basically constructed that. Fun fact, I spent 5 hours constructing that snow fort. My body hurt so much, I took 6 Tylenol because I'm a fucking idiot. But that's essentially what happened day one. The reason it took so long to build something that short is because I was using a wheelbarrow to take snow from a thing, like those things that like the snow plows leave behind on the side of the road. There's one of those in my grandma's driveway, so I was taking clumps of snow out of that and putting it there. I should probably color this in actually, but so yeah, I guess now it looks a bit more visible. There's where a snow fort was, and the first fight, that's all there was. It was just me with my paintball gun and my snow fort, and then Eddie, who had absolutely nothing. He's right here. What the shit? He's right here, and then I'm like right here. And essentially, obviously, I win the first fight. You know, Eddie doesn't like that. And this all happened, by the way, like this. So then Eddie, he does the ingenious thing, and he brings out, just a standard cardboard box. And there's something I want you to remember. Remember, this is on the high ground, so I'm getting absolutely destroyed here, right? And then day two, this really pissed me off. Essentially, that snow fort went from looking like that to looking that's the wrong color, to looking a little more. Can this work? Okay, thank you. Looking a little. That's the wrong place. I'm bad at this. I didn't rehearse. A little more like this, extremely melted. So that was annoying, right? And yeah, Eddie still had his box. Like Eddie still I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this, but Eddie still had his box like right here. So he again destroyed me. And then day three, actually day two, I finished it by remaking the fort, making it look a little better. But that was actually incredibly short-lived because after, when we got to day three, it had actually all melted. So now it looked a little more like this, extremely pathetic, right? Or, well, I mean, I guess it was a little more over here, so like, that's a bit wide. Like that, it essentially looked like that. It was insanely pathetic, I maybe only got a few hits on him, off on him because I discovered you could actually go in the prone position. Meanwhile, he's still got, the cardboard box to hide under. So, like, he was right here. I was, like, again, right there. And then, so that made me realize, Eddie was right. He told me earlier that week that, you can't build out of snow. And I was like, well, it's only getting warmer. So naturally, the only thing to do is to go for a much heavier material. And where the snow fort was, I constructed a wood, like a wooden sort of, I just pulled some logs out of the forest and I made a wooden, like, semicircle to defend myself. And around the same time, right, one sec, where's the eraser? Around the same time, my brother actually, well, I told him to because I was bitching about it. I'm not gonna lie, right? But he moved his box, and that's a terrible erasing job. But what are you gonna do? He moved his box more like down here ish. And then this is the fourth and final day. This is actually Christmas Day. We had this fight. So essentially, here we are. There's a lot less of an elevation difference. I'm going down prone, so I look something like I look like this. Right, here's me, and there are my legs. I'm prone. Eddie, he's kneeling more like, so like that, I guess. Anyway, so another thing we found out about the paintball guns, it doesn't matter. After like 10 meters, these things are pretty much just useless. You might as well be firing a pistol 100 yards. So, uh, that, but the spread, it's not entirely useless, right? So what the spread looks like on the paintball is like after 10, 15, 20 yards, it starts to get more spread out, but the spread, it looks something like that. And I guess, like, if you're aiming there, it looks sort of like that, which you may think is like, oh, that's terrible. But one thing I noticed is they're all sort of following the same elevation. So what I decided to do was try to find that elevation, like where the paintball would hit about on when it got to Eddie's level. And then I just sort of like aimed it in his general direction through the iron sights and like, just shot really fast because it's a semi-auto. But if you hold your hand a certain way, you can sort of like pull the trigger really fast, and it almost becomes full auto. It's really cool. If the paintball gun had recoil, I'd probably bump fire it, but it's a CO2 powered thing. Of course, it doesn't. But anyway, I consider this to be the only day I really won the battle because of well, I'm gonna be honest, right? I got a lucky hit. I hit Eddie in the hand, and he started bleeding. So he obviously didn't want to play for the rest of the day. But my dad decided he wanted to try paintball, and I'm all down for that, right? I'm gonna beat the shit out of my dad, but it's gonna be worth it. I'm gonna win, and essentially he runs out of gas, right? Because he's using my brother's gun. He runs all the way out of gas, all the way out of gas. And what ends up happening is he's retreating, so he goes like this way, right, to try to leave. And obviously, his back is faced towards me. My first thought is, it seems pretty open, and this is where I kind of become the biggest asshole ever. I just start like putting as many paintballs down that way as possible. Because I know, right, like, after there's no other more paintball fights, right? Like, we have the last paintballs in our gun out of the 2000 we originally bought. So, I was just, like, shooting all the paintballs I could down here. I think I hit him in the back 10 times. But, I mean, either way, I consider this a win, right? Because A, I beat Eddie, and then B, I beat his reinforcements as they were retreating. So, I think military-wise that would have been considered a win. But I absolutely played like a dickhead. I'm not going to lie. Anyway, yeah, there were some other things. Like, there was this one time where Eddie, this is like, I think day 2 or something. it was one of the few times I actually hit him. Where Eddie tried to like wrap around when I still had a snow fort, so this was snow. But there were some times where he tried to wrap around this way, and then I just obviously, he has no cover. He wasn't taking the box, so I just sort of, shot in that general direction. Pretty much just stuff like that. No one really moved out of their cover for the most part. It was really fun though, and yeah, I guess I kind of wanted to tell you about this. Mainly because I was really proud of how much work I put into this like wood fort right here. Like that was just sick. There was this one log actually that I picked up. It went from like here and then it went like out here, but it was. Let me draw its like actual outline where it would have been. Would have been like right about here. I think is where the log would be. Dude, it was really sick. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did over Christmas. Shoot my brother and my dad. My dad multiple times in the back actually. Funny story. The literal next day, he had 10 paintball hits in the back, so obviously it was still uncomfortable. We had to drive 8 hours back home, which, that was totally not intended. I swear. I actually thought we were going back a day later, but yeah, sorry. I He probably hurt the entire time, but that's the story of the not so great paintball war, the battle of the one valley, that one field in my grandma's house. It's honestly a really beautiful place. I feel like the city's all right, but I think the real New York is in the state, definitely, cause like that shit's just fucking lit over there. Like it's really nice looking, and I definitely recommend it. But yeah, essentially after that, again, we left the next day. So that day, Eddie took the box and left, and I threw all the sticks into the woods. And yeah, I'm gonna probably pose for a picture with the paintball gun and mask on for like the thumbnail. So that's what's in my thumbnail. Uh, is the paintball gun me and Eddie both got. Uh, I guess I don't really know why. I just really wanted to share this with some people, and I didn't feel like typing it all out. And I know a lot of my friends don't like voice calls to explain the whole thing, so that's what I did over break. Yeah, goodbye, I guess.